creditors. The creditors take that money and they put it right into Monaco. That's where the money goes. It doesn't go, for example, Greece is still in free fall. Greece is still a basket case. Greece is a lost country. Italy's about to crash. It's because the money that's being printed, and the ECB printed trillions of euros, it doesn't go to help these economies. It goes to Monaco. It goes to the people in Monaco, and it goes to $22 trillion estimated offshore money that's managed for these people that get all the free money from the central bank. So you see it, the manifestation of it, in Monaco.
Well, the more they print money that goes to the very, very elite, the faster they need to print. Because the thing is that if they were to have done that, the quantitative easing for the people, for example, as Steve Keen has suggested, is that it would have kept on circulating within the economy and perhaps created a lot of inflation. Well, here they're causing deflation because it's being sucked out of our economies. They're printing up money, handing it to these billionaire class, and they're going somewhere where they don't have to pay taxes and mingle with the ordinary people.
Well, I'm glad people are coming around to my point of view. The money printing that's been going on since 2008 has caused deflation, not inflation. You see that because there's been no wage growth. That would be inflation. You see deflation in that you see the concentration of the ultra-rich in one place called Monaco. And so that's exactly what's been going on.
So Prince Albert has approved this extension. It's $2 billion. It's an offshore urban extension project. It's just 6 hectares, $2 billion for that. The property on it will sell for $100,000 per square meter. So it's called the Portier Cove Ecological Neighborhood.
Right. Well, it's a petting zoo for billionaires in Monaco, and the trees have microphones. So they're monitoring every single thing you say, every single step you take, everything you possibly can communicate in that principality, as it's called, is monitored by the government very, very closely, and they don't care because they are part of the casino gulag. They're the house in the casino gulag.
Literally, they have Monte Carlo. Here's a little picture of that. That's the port. That's where they extended it. That's in 2002, the last extension work they did in Monaco, and that's where they bring in the huge ships. But up here is Monte Carlo, the casino, and this is the bit they're going to be building right there.
And you can see right here is Philip Green's yacht. Philip Green took $1 billion out of Arcadia and littered the company up with debt. And then they got into financial trouble, exactly as we predicted. Then he took that billion, put it in his wife's name in Monaco, and he lives on that yacht. But that's just not to say Phil Green is more or less any much of a schmata than any of these other billionaires that live on their yachts in this particular piece of real estate. He's just the garden variety schmuck.
And so the article also, finally, before I move on to the next final headline here, they did say that this finally got the green light. They had a green light before, but the financial crisis caused them to retreat. So that for a while, there was an equal impact globally. In fact, the wealthiest got hit the most in the beginning in 2008, 2009 during the financial crisis. But as we've seen that the bottom is still where they were in 2008 and 2009, the wealthy class are way up here because of all the money.
What's the big difference is that if I have a portfolio that's worth $1 billion or even 100 million or 50 million and it's like 50% markdown, I can call up X, Y, and Z, Hank Paulson or any regulator and say, I'm down 50 million or 100 billion. Can you please send it to me right now? Lend it to me, work your way up through a huge stock market rally and then pay that off gradually. But you never suffer one single day where you're losing a penny. That's only for anyone who's below the $50 million line, as HSBC has proven.
Well, I mean, these were the titans of industry. These were the bankers. These were the guys selling bonds. And what they saw is that, yes, the entire financial system collapsed. And the politicians are just politicians, right? Most of them are not like Trump. They're not billionaires, right? They're not from that class of people. Most of them are just ordinary people who've been bureaucrats for, wealthy bureaucrats for the last decades. And then they thought they were going to help the economy. But I think these guys just did a runner. They knew, like, if they're willing to give us some money, let's just take it and run because we've collapsed the economy and it's never coming back. But of course, during 2008 to 2009 was when Bitcoin came about. And I know you're going to be interviewing Simon Dixon in the second half. So I wanted to get to this final headline here. The SEC will leave good ICOs alone. William Hidman, the director of the Division of Corporation Finance at the Securities and Exchange Commission, gave a smart and nuanced speech yesterday, which was the 14th of June, declaring that Ether, the cryptocurrency of the Ethereum network, is not a security and so is not subject to the requirements of U.S. securities law. He said, quote, Putting aside the fundraising that accompanied the creation of Ether, based on my understanding of the present state of Ether, the Ethereum network and its decentralized structure, current offers and sales of Ether are not securities transactions. And as with Bitcoin, applying the disclosure regime of the federal securities laws to current transactions in Ether would seem to add little value.
Right. So SEC showing their hands that they're completely pliable when it comes to applying the securities laws of 33 and 34. So they are now, bendable. That is a testament to how many people on Wall Street are participating in Ether. This guy who made $200 million trading Ether. Novogratz, right? He's a Wall Street guy. He's a made man. So they call up Novogratz and they get his opinion. He's like, no, I'll do it this way. And had it come earlier, it would have had a different outcome. But because they're now embedded in the system and the right guys are making money, they change the law accordingly. As I've said many, many times, the SEC changes laws per what the bankers want.
Well, you'll talk to Simon more about it, but actually he says some interesting stuff, and he agrees that you can raise money as a security for something that changes. You raise money for a decentralized platform, and this is a new business model that hasn't been used before in America. And he agrees it then becomes not a security once it's a decentralized platform. So he did say, Ethereum was a security.